All right, all right. Good morning. It is Wednesday. It is 6:31. It is, what's the date? December 20th. How many days left do we have in 2023? Let's take a quick look. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days left. Hope everyone's enjoying this move that we've had since late October. An active sequence above the 8-day with lots of participation in mega cap tech, in gold, in the rebalance trade. There's a lot to do. If you look for setups, if you try and stay planned and stay the course and stop listening to everyone around you about why you shouldn't be in the market or all the problems that are down the road, look at what's underneath your feet and stand on that and keep you ground. Anyway, my name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's 6:30 Club, where we try and figure out how to stay with trends, massage positions, use a tier system, make money so we get paid for December or the fourth quarter, and also figure out how to put money away for the long term, right? You want to put monthly inflows in every single month for 20, 30 years, and hopefully while you have a job, so this way you can prepare a little bit for retirement and also, start doing that when your child is born, so this way you can pay for school, so you're not looking for people to pay off your loans. Anyway, living your means, that's much better that way. So here we are. Yesterday, 47.68, the S&P cash, that's what we hit. What a move. Started late October. Really, the trend sequence started November 1st, and now here we are over maybe 7 weeks almost since. I know it was definitely tough trading during this process. I know, some people, have been trying to get back to their high watermarks so they can get paid. Some people have been making higher highs in their P&L. Hopefully you're making some progress in all different spots. I know I'm finally almost back to my high watermark, which, again, sometimes it's a battle. How do you build self-confidence and self-esteem? You do hard things. How do you do hard things? You endure, right? Adversity either breaks you or builds you. Bottom line is you got to stay the course, and you do that by having a process and a plan and things you do to make yourself happy. A lot of people don't stay the course out there. I've seen thousands of traders come and go. It's the ones that sit in their desk, that like what they do, how they do it, work on their process, and evolve, right? Coming into 2024, the new you. Everyone wants to be the new you. No one wants to be the new you. Just make yourself a little bit better. And look in the mirror and figure out how you could do that. Anyway, for today, let's look at the spiders. The spies are down 65 cents. Not the end of the world. We are a little bit overbought. All you see over Twitter is about how overbought we are. We'll see how we continue during this stretch. Typically, strong stocks stay strong because nobody wants to sell them, because then you have to pay taxes in April. They'd rather sell them a few days prior to the end of the year. And then you also have the January effect with all these being down names that start to lift because selling's done, and names that have been obliterated can make you 100, 200%. So traders like me who aren't off the beach or in the mountains are trying to figure out how to help you guys make money and make money as well. So with that being said, 472.45 is right here. We're way above that. The 8 days we're extended from, which we've been above this entire time. Only, I think, like 2 gut checks in this entire sequence. One right here, and then the next day said, active sequence continues, and one right here, and then these 2 days put it right back on track. So, if you're using a tier system and you're trying to reduce positions, add to positions, there are some times when you're like, okay, maybe this is it, and then when it's not, it continues. IWM gave another setup yesterday, another bull flag. Every Saturday I post a candlestick cheat sheet and chart patterns. I'm like, take 8 minutes. Well, isn't this a bull flag where it continues, goes sideways, holds a gap, and gives you an intraday trade, gives you a day trade, whatever it is? Oh, this looks like a pretty big bull flag too. That when that happened, bunch of bull flags. And we've been hugging the 8 day the whole way up. You were a computer programmed to buy every time at the 8 day. You're doing real well. And there are a lot of actually algos out there. Bottom line is, where do I think it can go? Everyone's like, Red Dog, do you agree with Tom Lee? People associate me with Tom Lee because I tend to be glass half full and optimistic, and I'm more of an advocate that at over 100 years, the bull market wins. A lot of people out there are more like, this isn't going to end well, but that's not a trading plan. When it's not ending well or going well, poorly, like 2022, Tom Lee was wrong in 2022. But if you're optimistic and you had a job, which most of us try to, and you put money every single month during the corrective phase of 2022, it gave you a good average cost of 2023. Down years is what builds your portfolio if you stay the course. Okay, if you trade actively for a living, that's a whole nother story. Which, if you do everything, congratulations. You can get, you could do real well for yourself. So anyway, I kind of think that at some point we're going to be hitting this 212. If this market continues through January, which maybe we do, that's a likely spot. So that's why I put on another set of options, for January. Anyway, so what am I trying to do here? What are we trying to do together? I am focusing on 12/29 as another date that, if I thought maybe we rest this week and we haven't, but, still things are working. Maybe today starts to rest for 2 days. And I was thinking even if we do rest, burn off the overbought condition, we get some kind of move into the 29th. So the Magnificent Seven that you hear about every single day, you don't really hear about how to do it, how to, approach it. But bottom line is every single time they've gotten into like a 2 to 4 week corrective phase so far, there's been an additional move, or if you accumulated options or traded, it's worked out. If you look at Meta looked like it was left kind of for dead. When it broke right here, November 29th, and then it rebuilt and boom, a lot of guys are buying the 340 options when the stock was back at 325, got paid real handsomely. Same thing with Netflix. Netflix, has been a leader since this pro earnings gap, hit 482, broke the 8-day. If you got out when it broke the 8-day, you're allowed. That's what we do, and then it kind of rebuilt, took it all back here. If you bought options again to get above 482 or 485, which was the July high, you did real well. So last week I was positioning for Amazon to do it, and it did. This was a really nice trade. I made a lot of money in it, and so did most people on Monday. And then yesterday it pulled in a little bit. I'd like to see if we could hold this 152-ish, build a little bit of a bull flag to continue above 155.15. If you were buying in here and added through 150, you could have sold a little bit into the 154.5, 155. So then you could have bought some back, and now we'll see if Amazon could hang in here. But this also, if you were accumulating options for it to get above 150, you did well. We were buying $1.50 options, and they went to 5 or more. So the question is, will the rest of them follow suit? So will Microsoft, get above 373, 377 to clear 384 by the 29th? I am not sure. I'm not in Microsoft stock because it hasn't really triggered, but I bought some options, the 380s, just in case it goes in the next week and a half to 385 to 390 or more. Then I'm positioning for that, and then if the stock ignites, I'll go with it. So Microsoft is a maybe. It hasn't done anything since November 29th. Same way, Apple. Apple's been a little bit of a pain in the butt, but if you do remember, we've had a lot of really good trades in Apple. I've had my whole life I've had great trades in Apple. I used to be called the Apple trader, then the Tesla trader. I like to trade things that move. This doesn't move that much, but remember we were buying this post earnings on that day. That was awesome. So anyway, bought some of the 200 calls in here, and then it went a lot sooner than I thought, so I sold a bunch into there, bought more back. So now, if this is the low, if this 194 is the low and it can go sideways, I still think this is in the game to take out 199 in somewhere into 1229, but we'll see. I know they're still talking about the watch and they're talking about China, but in my head, I think that they're gonna come up with some kind of deal to keep the watch for sale for Christmas, and all of a sudden you can get this day that it's up $3, $4 or something like that. So I've been positioning a decent amount for Apple and Microsoft to follow Amazon. I still have half my Amazon, as well as some other things. Yesterday, NVIDIA was a pain in my ass. Excuse my French. Why do I always say if I curse, it's French? Do French people curse a lot? Anyway, NVIDIA looked like it was ready to take out 500. I was sitting here yesterday. All of a sudden, it was trading at 502, 501, 498. I'm like, what's out there? And then some boutique investment banking firm or boutique research firm, said they're a little cautious on the first quarter, and I pulled in. Anyway, if you look now, it's not really that big a deal. I actually, I got stopped out of my stock, but I bought more calls. So what I'm doing here is I'm buying some calls for still 1229 in case it wants to wake up. And yesterday, I wouldn't say this is the end of the world. I said, remember, I was like, it's got to hold 488 to 491. Well, pretty much held 488. And we'll see what happens today. Nvidia is down 460. This has been a very difficult stock. Like, it was a great stock this year, but it's been in like a 6-month range where a lot of people, have not done as well as you hear about, in Nvidia. Once people finally agreed that it was going to go higher, it went into the 6-month range. But anyway, SPYs are down 90 cents. I would say you could buy it maybe 491 versus this 488. Maybe it wants to build here. It's got extended from the 8-day. And then at some point into the new year, it takes out 504, 505, and gives you a move to 540. We'll see. But ultimately, it hasn't been such an easy trade. When it's looked ready to go, it broke down. When it looked like it was going to break down and everyone was talking about this head and shoulders top, it did that red dog reversal. What did it do then? Went right back to the top of the range. Couldn't get through the double top. And then it created a higher low. So if it can hang in here, there could be a good trade, whether it's this week, next week, soon. Don't lose track of the video because everyone's so noisy about it. AMD's been awesome, but yesterday kind of loose and wide. Remember I was telling you I bought some 142 calls, on these 2 days, and then it wound up going up 143.47. So I took the trade. I'm like, okay, you want to give me, a double on my options on one of my sets of options, and I have a ton of options. I'll take it, and now we'll see, what's this 143.47, how it hangs out. So again, you got to be really prepared. There's so many things moving and happening and going and doing, so you want to make sure you're in that, it's a little extended from the 8-day. And then, so these are all like these are the stocks that have been acting really well. And then you have the stocks, that have been battered and bruised that you play for a January effect. And some of them already started working that we're in and we've been talking about. Last week I told you I was buying options in Toast. I know Josh Brown loved it up here, but I loved it down here. And I love Josh. He's from Long Island, just like me. But anyway, figured perhaps with the small caps moving, et cetera, this could be bought. And I'm still in it. I did trim a little bit into this move. I rolled up some calls. I would think the 200-day could happen in a nice active sequence starting from here. So, we'll see how long that lasts. Chewy also we went over. Nice move. Broke above this 1229. Started buying it in here. Added a little bit. Sold some. See if it goes sideways. I think this 200-day happens here. Active sequences. We'll see how long they go. I did buy a little blink also. Thinking that, hey, last time the small caps went, it went to 458. You have the EVs acting a little bit better. You have Tesla acting a little bit better. So maybe this could, have a move back. Even if this gets to the 200-day to 596 by January 12th, that's the ones that I have. We're going to make 1,000% on our options. Like not a bad little New Year's Eve gift. We'll see, but it's got to get above here with some authority. NEO, we started buying last week. Nice move. Here's your 200-day NEO. Nice lower level. So besides the Mag 7, if you're looking around, there's a lot of things to do. If you remember, this all started with Square. Right? Square gap and go, pro earnings gaps. People like, Red Dog, what ignites a new move? What starts an active sequence? Well, a pro earnings gap does. So usually you could buy versus a pro earnings gap. So it gapped up. You made your low here. You could have bought even on this day. And look at the size of this trend. Wow. So things are reborn. But then you look back here, you're like, well, this is a horrible stock. Yeah, horrible stock. If you held through when it broke all the moving averages at 240 back in 2021. But if you got involved here, remember, I'm like, I think we can get into the 80s. Well, look at that. It's in the 80s. It could even get to the year if it wants to. So lots of different types of time frame analysis. Where do you live? What's your active sequence? So again, just got to realize what it is and, what you do and how you do it. Yesterday, this path kind of woke up again. People like, Red Dog, where do you think it can go? Well, I know Kathy Woods accumulated a lot in there. You had your pro earnings gap. This is like a tricky stock to trade, I'll tell you. So just be a little careful. I've been buying options and staying with this. There was like a huge option buy for 1229. It looks like it just had a bit of a move here, but then again, if you look at your weekly chart, looks like a bull flag, and there's a whole big void here. for once 45 next year. I think we can get there. You know, it was at 56, 67, 80. So there's you know, so again, move and groove, look around. Where do you want to live? How much risk could you have on? And when things are trending, you want to make sure you have money working, but you don't want to fall asleep behind the wheel. I have some Qs premium sold. That's my hedge. I have some SPYs premium sold, and I have a lot of little things that I'm trying to manage with the Tiersome, with the process. As I listen to my little, you know, little Billy Joel radio, right? With my iced coffee. I already was in the sauna. I was already in my ice barrel. That's what I do every day. And I got to prepare. Like today, you know, I'm like, wow, I got to go in. I got to trade the morning, and then I'm going to the city. I'm going to be at the T3 office in Manhattan. We're doing a secret Santa, and then from there, I have my suit. I got to jump in my suit. I'm going to be on Fox Business at 3 o'clock, and then from there, I got to then trade the clothes, and then Chase is playing in Newark basketball at 5:30. So everyone's got to put their day together, and the only way you could efficiently approach the day is if you think about it and plan it out. Same thing with trading, same thing with life. Think about it, plan it out. Okay, you can do it. Just put your mind to it. And if you want to become the new you in 2024, you don't need to be the new you. Just become a little bit of a better version and think about what that takes. I appreciate you guys. Have a great trading day.